So good morning, everyone. So good morning, sir. We are from Group 5. Today, we're gonna talk about theoretical basis related to banking, types of banking business, function of Bank Indonesia, type of banking product and services, regulation and supervision profession in the banking industry. So before the presentation today, let me to introduce ourselves. My name is Ninghai Satyawati with last number is 046 and my friends.
My name is Petrus Gotagi with your last digit number is 025.
Okay, so for this material, we have an introduction. So the banking sector plays a pivotal role in the economic framework of any nation, serving as a cornerstone for financial stability and growth. This introduction aims to outline the fundamental aspect of banking, including its theoretical underpinnings, historical evolution, and the various types of banking institutions that operate within Indonesia. Types of banking institutions that operate within Indonesia. And then understanding the theoretical basis related to banking is crucial as it provide insight into how banking function as financial intermediaries. So facilitating the flow of funds between savers and borrowers. This foundation is complemented by a two examination of the history of banking, which trace the evolution of banking practice from ancient times to contemporary financial system, highlighting significant milestones that have shaped modern banking. So for the next presentation is presented by Luis. Luis, time is yours.
Okay, thank you for the time given to me, Ai. So the next material is about theoretical basis related to banking. The first is credit creation theory. This theory posits that banks have a ability to create the money through their lending activities. The second, fractional reserve theory. This theory suggests that banks operate on fractional reserve basis, meaning they are required to hold only a fraction of their deposit as reserve while lending out the remainder. The third, financial intermediation theory. Since around 1970, this theory has become dominant in understanding banking. It views banks as a financial intermediaries that facilitate the allocation of resources between savers and borrowers, similar to non-bank financial institution. And the fourth is the role payment in bank system, crucial role in the payment system by providing transaction account and facilitating payments. Next. Okay. The fifth is regulatory framework. The operation of bank is heavily influenced by the regulatory frameworks designed to ensure the stability and protect consumers. And the last is the sixth economic function of banks. The economic is a bank contributes significantly to economic stability by providing liquidity, managing risk through diversification, and acting as delegated monitors of borrowers. So this theoretical foundation provide a comprehensive understanding of how banks function within the broader economic system, highlighting their critical roles in the credit creation, resource allocation, and the maintaining financial stability. Next. Okay, the next material is about history of banking. The history of banking is a fascinating journey that reflects the evolution of financial system from the ancient times to the modern era. Here are the key milestones and the developments of history of bank in the history of banking. The first is ancient banking theory that which the ancient banking origins included by the first is early banking practices. The roots of banks can be traced back ancient civilization such as Assyria, Indian, and Sumer around 2000 BCE, where the merchant provided grains loan to farmers and traders. Temples served as the secure places for storing variables and began lending money at interest, functioning as some of the earliest banks. Next. Okay, the next is Roman banking. So in the Roman banking, the Romans formalized banking with distinct built from the financial transaction. They established money lending practices and allowed bankers to confiscate land for unpaid loans, making a significant shift in creditor or debtor relationship. The second is medieval and Renaissance banking. The first is about rise of Italian banks. The modern era of banking began in medieval Italy, particularly in influential cities like Florence, Venice, and Genoa. Prominent banking families such as the Bardi and Peruzzi dominated the scenes in the 4th century, with the Medici Bank, founded by Giovanni de Medicini in 1397, becoming one and the most famous banks of the time. Next. And the second is about the state deposit banks. The Republic of Genoa established Banco di San Giorgio uh, on 1407, recognized as the one of the earliest state deposit bank, which played a crucial role in public finance. And the third is development of banking practice. There are fractionalized of banking. In the 15th and 18th century, fractional reserve banking emerged alongside the issuance of the banknotes. Goldsmith began lending money deposited by the customer while issuing the receipts that could be used as a currency. The next is Bank of England, where established in 1694, the Bank of England becoming a model for the model central bank, introducing a permanent banknotes and influencing the monetary policy. Next. Okay. The fourth is 19th century innovation. The first is clearing houses and overdraft. By early 19th century, institutions like Ladbrokes Bank established bankers clearing the house to facilitate transaction settlements between banks. The Royal Bank of Scotland introduced the overdraft facilities in 1728, further the involving banking services. The second is international finance. There are the Rothschild family pioneered the international finance during this period, financing major projects such as the Suez Canal for the British government in 1895. Next. Okay, the fifth is 20th century development. The first is technological advancements. The advancements of telecommunication and computing transfer banking operations significantly throughout the 20th century, allowing the banks to expand their reach and improve efficiency. The second is regulatory change. The financial crisis of the late 20th century prompted increased regulatory within the banking sectors to ensure stability and protect consumers. So, the history of banking reflects a continuous evolution influenced by the economic needs, technological advancements, and regulatory frameworks. From its ancient origins to the modern digital banking system, the banking industry has adapted to meet changing demands while playing a critical role in facilitating trade and economic growth across societies. Next. Okay, the next material will be presented by my friend.
Okay, thank you, Luis. So for the next material, we're gonna talk about type of bank business. So the bank engages in various type of business activity to cater to the deserves financial needs of clients. So here is the primary types of bank business. The first one is retail banking. This is retail banking offer financial services to general public, including individual business and small business. They provide a range of product and services such as the first is checking and saving accounts. This is the very basic because deposit account for everyday transaction, and then the loans and mortgage. This is personal loans, mortgage, and other short-term credit facilities. And then the credit card. This is the debit credit card for building credit score and facilitating transaction. And then investment product, this is the certificates of deposit or CDs, so mutual funds and individual retirement account. And then wealth management services, this is the private banking and wealth management services for high net worth individual. So the next is commercial or corporate banking. So the commercial banks focus on services business client for and small enterprises to large corporation. Their services include the business checking and saving account. This is the specialist account for business. And then the credit services. This is the commercial loans, cash management services, and trade finance. And then real estate services. This is the financing for commercial real estate transaction. And then employer services, this is the payroll services and other employer related financial solution. And then the last is asset management, this is the managing asset for corporate client. So the example is JP Morgan Chase and Bank of American operate significant commercial banking and division. And then the third is investment banking. This is the investment banking provide complex financial services to corporate clients, including underwriting, merger and acquisition, and then trading. And the last is asset management. This is the managing investment portfolios for institutional client. So for the example is Morgan Stanley and Goldman Sachs are prominent investment banks. And then the fourth is cooperative bank or credit union. This is the cooperative bank often referred to as credit union are non-profit institutions that serve members who share a common bond like geographic location or profession. This they offer is loan and deposit like basic banking services tailored to the needs of their members. And then lower fees, this is a typically charge lower fees compared to traditional banks. For the example is credit unions are popular in many countries and often serve specific groups like low income communities or armed services members. And then the fifth is saving and loan association. This is the institution primary focus on residential mortgage and property related financing, and they offer two mortgage services like specialist loan for purchasing or refinancing residual properties. And then the saving accounts, this is a traditional savings account with competitive interest rate. The example is saving and loan association are less common in modern banking but still serve specific needs. And then the sixth is community development banking. This is the community development bank aim to provide financial services to low-income communities and underserved area. They offer to lower interest loans and non-profit focus. For the operate with the non-profit model, this is the focusing on community betterment rather than profit maximization. For example, these banks operate differently from traditional banks by not accepting deposit from client, but instead focusing on lending to low-income communities. And the seventh is online and neobanks. This is online bank and neobanks offer digital banking services, providing convenience through mobile apps and online platforms. They often provide like digital account, low-cost services, automatic transaction. For the example is online only banks like Ali banks, neobanks like Chim Bank have emerged in recent years, offering modern digital banking solution. And for this sub chapter, this is the summary like bank engaged in variety of business activity to cater different segment of the market from retail banking for individual customer to investment banking for large corporation and communication development banking for underserved communities. And the next we're gonna talk about the function of Bank Indonesia. So in Indonesia, banks serve several essential functions that contribute to the overall stability and growth of the economy. This function can be categorized into primary and supporting activity as well as specific role played by different types of bank. Here are the key function of Bank Indonesia. The first is financial intermediation. So this bank act as intermediaries between savers and borrowers. They collect funds from individual and business in the form of deposit and then channel this fund into loans for various purposes, including personal loans, business financing, and mortgage. This is function is vital for facilitating economic activity and ensuring liquidity the market. Sorry. Okay, the second is payment system services. This is the bank provide essential payment services that enable transaction between individual and business. So this includes services such as checking account, electronic funds transfer, and credit and debit cards. And the third is monetary policy implementation. This is the part of the rule in the financial system. Banks have implemented monetary policies set by Bank Indonesia or the Central Bank in Indonesia. This is include adjusting interest rates and managing the money supply to achieve economic stability. So the bank also play a role maintaining the stability of the currency or the rupiah through their lending and deposit activities. And then the fourth is risk management. This is the bank provide various financial product that help individual and business manage risks. This is includes offering insurance product, hedging services, and investment option that allow customer to protect their asset against to unforeseen events. And then the fifth is financial inclusion. This is the Bank Indonesia are increasingly focus on promoting financial inclusion by providing access to banking services for underserved population. This is involve offering microfinance product, mobile banking solution, and tailored services that cater to low-income individual and small businesses. And then the sixth is supporting economic growth. This is the providing loans for investment in infrastructure, housing, and business development. And banking contribute significantly to economic growth. They facilitate capital information by financing productive activities that enhance productivity and create jobs. And then the seven is regulatory compliance and supervision. This is the bank must comply with regulations set forth by Bank Indonesia and the Financial Services Authority. In Indonesia, we call OJK or Otoritas Jasa Keuangan. This regulation ensure that banks operate safely and soundly while protecting a consumer interest. This is the compliance, including maintaining and the quiet capital service reserve, sorry, conducting regular audits and adhering the anti-money laundering laws. And then the eighth is lender of last resort. This is the in time of financial distress or liquidity crisis. So the Bank Indonesia acts a lender of last resort to bank facing short-term funding difficulties. This function helps maintain to stability in the banking system by preventing bank runs and ensuring that solvent banks have access to necessary funds. And this is the types of banking product and services. The first is deposit product. This is our basic banking product where customer can deposit their money after earning or facilitating the everyday transaction. So the deposit product they have the services like saving account, checking account, certificates of deposit, and money market accounts. And the next is loan product. This is the lending of services offered by banks, typically repaid with interest. Personal loans, mortgage, auto loans, business loans, and home equity loans, and the credit card also. And then the third is investment product. This is the banks is often provide services that allow the customers to invest their money for potential growth. So the investment product have the some potential growth like mutual funds, stock and bonds, retirement account, and then the annuities, like the financial product that provide regular income typically used by the retirement planning. So the fourth is wealth management and advisory services. This is the high net worth individual or business may seek this specialist servicing like financial planning, estate planning, and trust services. And then the fifth is payment and transfer services. So for the services facilitate money movement both domestically and internationally, like we are transfer by electronic transfer of fund, typically for large of internet payment, and then uh, we have CH transfer or like automatic clearing house, and then the PayBill services, mobile payment services, and also foreign exchange services or forex. On Indonesia, we call money changer. And then the sixth is digital banking services. This is the advantage is technology. Many banks offer digital product and services like online banking, mobile banking, statement and alert, and also ATM services or automatic teller machine. And then the seven is insurance product. This is many bank also provide insurance product either directly or through the partner, like life insurance, health insurance, homeowners and auto insurance, disability and long-term care insurance. So the next is treasury and cash management services. This is are mainly for business and corporation to help manage their cash flow, like cash flow management, payroll services, and also liquidity management. So the nine is the specialized financing services. This is the provide specialist financing for specific industry or situation in commercial real estate loans, construction loans, and also trade finance. This is the various product and services allow bank to serve as essential financial partner for individual business and institution. And we also have regulation and supervision in the banking industry. The first is regulation of the banking industry. This is the regulation refers to the rules and guidelines set by government or regulatory authorities to ensure the stability, integrity, and security of the financial system. And for the regulation and supervision in the banking industry, we have the capital adequacy. This is the sufficient capital reserve to cover the risks and remain solvent during financial stress. And then the liquidity requirement, this is the maintain sufficient liquid asset to meet short-term obligation. This is a regulation such as the liquidity coverage ratio or LCR, and the net stable foundation ratio or the NCVR. And then this next is risk management. Yeah, also the banks implement framework to manage different types of risks like uh, risk credit, market, liquidity, and operational risks. This is the involves stress testing and setting asset aside provision for potential loss. And then the customer protection, and this is regulation aimed to ensure fair treatment of consumer, transparency in the financial product, and the protection of consumer data. This is include rules around this closure, lending practice, and the practice shown again from. And then we have the regulation about anti-money laundering and know your customer. Like bank are required to implement process to prevent money laundering, terrorism financing, and other financial crimes. This is include verifying the identity of a customer and monitoring suspicious transaction. And then we have the bank resolution and recovery. So this regulation provide framework for restructuring or closing down banks in a ordinary manner, or we gonna say too big to fail. So policies, for instance, under the system may risks posed by large financial institution. And then supervision of the banking industry. So the supervision refers to the ongoing monitoring and oversight of banking by regulatory authorities to ensure that comply with the rules of maintaining financial soundness. Soundness, yes, we have the supervisor bodies. If the first is national regulatory authority, so each country has its own regulatory authority or central bank responsible for supervision of banks. So we have example is United States, European Union, United Kingdom, and also Japan. And then the international supervisor bodies, this is the Bank for International Settlements, and then the Financial Stability Boards, and International Monetary Fund, also in World Bank. And then the supervisory practice, this is the on-site and off-site the supervision. So the supervision conduct both 16 site examination of off-site monitoring. And then the stress testing, this is the regulator authorities often require bank to the conduct stress tests to determine their resilience to economic shock. And then the risk-based supervision, this is the focus more on institution that pose higher risks to the financial system. And we have the provision of the banking industry. So the we have the some key for this provision of the banking industry. The first is retail banking, or the banking teller, personal banker, and branch manager. And then the corporate and investment banking, we have relationship manager, investment banker, and then credit analyst, and also trader. And for the risk management compliance, we have risk manager, compliance officer, and internal auditor. And the treasury and finance planning, we have treasurer, financial planner. And the technology and digital banking, we have IT specialist and data scientist also. And the technology and digital banking, we have the IT specialist, data scientist, and cyber security analyst to protect the bank data and the system from cyber threats. And the legal and regulatory affair, we have the banking lawyer, regulatory affairs specialist. So this is the essential to ensuring the safety, soundness, and integrity of the banking industry, protecting consumer and maintaining our financial stability. So the professional in the banking sector must be well served in this regulatory requirement and other to high standard of professionalism and ethic to navigate the complexities and of the industry. So we next to case. So we have three case about this material. The first is Lehman Brothers case. The Lehman Brothers case. The Lehman Brothers is banks the collapse in 2008 is one of the most significant events in the history of global finance, often cited as a key trigger for the global finance crisis. So the Lehman Brothers, one of the largest investment banking in the United States, filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy on September 15 in 2008, marking the largest bankruptcy in U.S. history. This case highlighting systemic flaws in the financial industry and regulatory environment and had widespread consequences for the global economy. And the next case, the impact of Pact 88. So the Pact of 88 is referred to legal initiative in South Africa intended to address sorry anti-competitive behavior within specific industry. Originated from the Competition Commission investigation into practice that were deemed to harm market competition, often in sectors like construction, healthcare, and manufacturing. The Pact 88 is refers to significant investigation undertaken by the South Africa Competition Commission into cartel-like behavior across several industries, notably within the construction sector. It was part of a large drive to promote market transparency and competition following the country's transition to more open economic post apartheid. And then the last case for this chapter is weakness of Bearing Bank case. This is the collapse of Bearing Banks in 1985. This is a large due to unauthorized trading of derivation by Nick Leeson. This is exposed multiple weakness in the bank management, risk control system, and regulatory oversight. This case has been studied extensively for how failure at various levels of the bank allow Leeson activity to spiral out of control, eventually resulting in loss exceeding in 80 million lira. So the ultimate collapse one of the UK oldest financial institution. So this is the conclusion. The banking industry is a complex sector that plays a crucial role in the economic and encompasses various types of bank, including retail, commercial, and investment banks. It services different clients and offering a range of products and services such as loans, credit card, and investment solution. These banks are essential for facilitating financial transaction and supporting economic growth. In Indonesia, the banking system operates under the regulator framework established by the Financial Services Authority or OJK. The OJK ensures stability and security by enforcing compliance with capital adequacy requirement, risk management practices, and consumer protection standard. This regulator oversight is critical in maintaining the integrity of the banking system and preventing financial crisis. Okay, I think that's enough for the material today. We are from group 5. Uh, just say thank you and good morning.